Hello everybody, and welcome back to another No Walls Live, this time once again with the incredible Toby Regbo. We're just waiting on Claire, so we'll probably have a short hiatus, but let me bring in Toby because we are very, very happy to have him back. Here he is, the man himself. Thank you very much for being back on stream with us. This is amazing.
Good evening. Good evening. How is everyone? Or wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day is yours.
Now, I'm sure not everybody in the chat was here for the original, because it was the original Chained Together stream. The first time we attempted the game, and it was actually for me one of the most fun streams we've ever had, because I had no expectations about the game whatsoever, no sort of preconceptions about how fun or funny it would be, except for the fact that it kind of had gone viral recently. And it surpassed, well, it and you in it surpassed all my expectations.
Yeah, likewise. It was just the right level of chaotic. I enjoyed it very much. And I didn't actually want, I can see how streamers end up streaming for like 19 hours straight, because I didn't really want to, I didn't really want to, I did not want to stop. I wanted to complete it.
No, it's really compulsive, and it's not just the gaming element of it. I think it's just that it's the being together on stream, and you should just be able to get it from just doing it multiplayer and just playing with your mates. But I don't know. There's something also about being on stream that it's really compulsive. There's something that keeps you going. So yeah, I mean, we're not Kai Cenats, thankfully, so we're not going to be doing like 48-hour streams.
I don't know who that is. Is he a big boy?
He's a big streamer. He's a superstar. He is a superstar. Anyone in the chat?
Sorry, is that KS1?
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. No. But there are KSI is also a superstar. Okay. But it's you watch those like 48.
I'm so old. God.
Is that
KS1?
Is that
he's on the YouTube, yeah?
It's on the YouTubes, yes. I went to a show yesterday that was a theatre show that was spoofing 80s like mountaineering films and the kind of like the kind of weird adventure TV that was around in the 80s in Britain, but also like the weird, like, what was it called, like cliffhanger, like Demolition Man style, like mountain dramas that you'd have in America. And there was like lots of archive clips, and it reminded me, one of my favourite things to be reminded of was that EastEnders, anyone in Britain who knows what EastEnders is, the mega soap of British TV, used to be called The EastEnders. So someone would announce on BBC One, they'd go, and the EastEnders will be back at 9 p.m. or whenever it is. The EastEnders, not EastEnders, the EastEnders, which feels to me so much like the YouTube. It feels like I feel like that's where that joke comes from. That we used to just put the in front of everything for anything a noun.
Yeah, it's the age of streamline. We want to streamline things as much as possible. Things just become symbols or just a single letter.
Emojis.
Twitter's too long. Just call it, X, all that kind of stuff. This is the most parochial, boring, observational chat.
Let's get out of it. We got trapped. We're trapped.
No. These days, honestly, from the minute I've got in here, I've been unbelievably parochial, and I must be current and modern. I'm talking about KS1 and on the YouTube. Back in my day, jeez.
Whereas before we were on stream, we were talking about, you were dropping large language models.
I said LLM, and I knew what I was talking about. I used the abbreviated term.
So yours up.
Acronym?
Oh god. Claire's okay. Claire has entered the chat. Hang on, everybody. Bear with us as we do a little bit of rearranging in our famous "Be Right Back" screen. Claire, can't wait to get you into this conversation and then get us into Chained Together. Let's go. See you in about 2 minutes, let's say. Welcome back. Thank you, chat, for bearing with us. We appreciate it hugely. Claire, welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to play Chained Together. I've already had a preview of Toby's towel. He's got it ready.
Ready to sweat.
Ready to sweat. Very excited. Yeah, thanks for having me again. Like, I'm so sad I missed the Yeppy chained together thing because you said it was really fun. So
it was. We played a little bit of Mountain Blade with Arnus and Yeppe, and a couple of the community as well jumped into an open server, which was very, very, very chill because nobody is playing Mountain Blade open servers on the original game. No one's doing that. So we had very little bother to begin with, and then some random people came in, but we had a great time. But I would say that Chained Together was still the jewel in the crown of the stream, just because it's just so much fun.
It's such a simple game. Like, you just 3-4 people solving puzzles together, chained together. That is literally it. Like, and I know a lot of people have started playing this game. My friend Neil's been playing it, I think, on his stream, and a few others that I've seen. So it's just so simple. Because sometimes I don't want like I love the visually sumptuous, incredibly layered story games, but sometimes you just don't want that. You want junk food, quite frankly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's good junk food.
And you just want a burger.
Yeah, it's just such once you hit on like a really simple mechanic that works really, really, really well, it's surprisingly good compared to like a lot of pageantry and expensive visuals and stuff. You can actually just have more fun by just chaining each other together and making the game impossible.
Yeah, like, and when we were younger, we used to play really simple games. So it's not like we had all of these incredibly complex games. Well, certainly growing up, I had an Atari ST in the late 80s, early 90s, because I'm incredibly old. So like, I was playing like things where it's just like left, right, up, down, you know, and I thought that was incredibly high tech. When I got an Atari ST, like, oh my god, the future. And then when I first got my first PC, my god, that was incredible. And we had Encarta Encyclopedia 97.
Oh, what a joy that was.
Oh my god, that was a joy. Oh my goodness, when you could play little videos and stuff. And I loved learning about like the rainforest or animals because I'm a dork, so I loved all of that. Like, Encarta Encyclopedia was so good. So yeah, like, I think simple games are best. They're so good. Sorry, I've not been in touch, James. I was aware that you were trying to get hold of me last week.
Not at all.
Sorry.
Tell us about your debut before we get into Chained Together. Tell us about your debut, San Diego Comic-Con, because Toby, have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con? You've done some pretty big ones.
I have.
You have?
I have. I've done it once. I did a panel for Rain many years ago.
And what was your experience? Before we hear from Claire, what was your experience?
Sorry, I just hijacked.
No. I didn't realise you'd done it, so I want to know. It's the big one. We did a big panel in a big room, and it was kind of a blur. That's definitely the most people I've spoken to at the same time in public with, and it just reminds me a tiny bit of this lag that I'm experiencing now, where I'm watching my own reaction from one split second ago, and then it's affecting my next second, and then I'm picking up on that, and then it's slowing me down, and I'm getting into this like weird observational lag loop. Yeah,
that happens a bit when
mirror room.
Yeah, it happens a bit when you're on stage. At least it did for me, where the room is so loud and so echoey that you can kind of hear your own feedback. So yeah, it was probably just like a kind of anxious blur, probably for me, trying not to blur anything out too revealing or ridiculous. Keep your answers concise.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think we had a couple. I think we had some questions we weren't prepared for, maybe, you know, of in-depthness. We just basically done. I think we'd only shot the pilot. Is that right? Oh god, I don't even know the timeline. But I don't think maybe we were ready to answer everything. We were like, but we're basically babies and brand new. That's how it felt. In a big echoey room. Babies in a big room. Babies in a big room.
That's a great description. Babies in a big room. Claire, what was yours like? Because this was your first too.
Because it was Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus, they had prepared me very well because it was for Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new series. Yeah. So it was very heavily PR'd. They'd given me a 4 or 5 page document of bullet points. What exclusives coming up? What clips coming up? Like pronunciation of every single name. The girl at Nickelodeon had prepared that, and she's lovely. And so, but she was nervous herself because she was like, "Oh my god, I've been coming to Comic-Con for years, and I can't believe I'm not now organizing this." So she was just, it was lovely to hear her say that because she's quite high up in Nickelodeon, you know. Yeah. So and she was like excited herself to be doing it, and I loved that. But I was very nervous the day before we went to the tech rehearsal, and I said to them, "Can I just stand on the stage? I just like to stand on the stage and just feel it. I don't know if you get like that when you're doing like theater or anything like that. I just like to be in the space." Which sounds silly, but
no,
I like to touch the mic. I'd like to touch everything, and they were like, "What's she doing?" I could hear them go, "What's she doing?" And I was like, feeling the table and stuff, like a freak. But then I just thought to myself, I've done this a million times before. Why am I so nervous? Why? And then the next day came round, and I amended some of my notes, and we went up there, and that's the most nervous I've been. I've done panels to like 5,000 people before. This was about 2,500, and so it was smaller. But I don't know why I felt so nervous, and I was like really like shaking, you know. And I haven't had that for a long time. But it's kind of a nice feeling in a way, because I think when you're on a stage a lot, or you're doing things on camera, and then those kind of nerves come back, you're like, oh yeah, I care about this. I care. This is like important, and you've got passion behind it. I fuffed up my a name at one point, and I had to go la 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 la, and like just kind of like, it's almost like I don't know if you get that when you're on stage. Like my mouth, it feels like I've got cotton wool in my mouth. Have you ever had that before when you're saying lines?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't like
many times.
Don't bring it up.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. It's like almost like my brain's not connected to my mouth, and it feels like something's in my mouth, and I'm like like I'm chewing, whatever. And then at one point I didn't queue up a clip properly, and then I sat there and I thought, I fucked this. I fucked it. This is it. I fucked it. Like I fucked it. This is it. I'm never going to be asked back. But then afterwards they were like, "Oh my god, that was so good, like thank you so much," and it was really, they were really happy. But it's a weird thing, like your perception versus everyone's else. You know what it's like when you're doing stuff like this. It's so not, because you're trying to enjoy the moment, but you're also like, I fucked this up, you know, like you can't get that out of your head. And I had to get out of my head very quickly, or else you're not going to do well. That's going to come across. So yeah, like I had a really good time. I left on Friday morning as it was all firing up, and I'm really glad that I left on Friday morning, because I'm not a party person. So I was glad to kind of get out there. But the drive down was beautiful. The drive up was beautiful. I stopped at Laguna Beach for breakfast there and back, and I've been practicing gratitude, and I was very thankful. And it felt very surreal, and it still feels like I'm in the Matrix a little bit. But it was lovely. The party was really nice, and
we are in the Matrix.
It was nice. Yeah. We are in the Matrix. We are currently actually in the Matrix. So yeah, it was. I don't know if you've had. I wanted to ask you guys: have you had jobs like that, or what job have you had where you've gone, "Oh my god, like this is so weird or surreal," or has there been a moment in your job where you've had to pinch yourself, or I don't know, almost take yourself out of it to just kind of look at it from, I don't know, it's a strange feeling. But have you had any jobs like that, or roles like that that's made you feel like that?
I wouldn't say I get it on a daily basis, but I do get it quite often. Like quite, I think quite a lot of the time. Of stepping out of your professionalism to think, how exactly did I get here? For different reasons. One, I mean, at least it shows like The Last Kingdom and Reign, and shows that have a lot of spectacle and a lot of effort put into creating an entire world around you, can give you either a sense of gratitude for being there, and a sense of the impressiveness of it, and allowing being allowed to be part of the world. Or maybe a slight, I think the imposter syndrome thing can sometimes kick in, where you think, like, when were they going to find out that I actually don't know what I'm doing? But I think it's good. I think it's a nice, healthy thing to feel. On both sides, keep your ego in check, and also on the gratitude side to remember how brilliant it is. It just doesn't feel. It's a weird combination of sometimes of it being nothing like work, but it also being a job. So it's because it's so creative. Everyone in their particular roles, whether that be the costume, hair and makeup, props, set design, everything is so creative. You're surrounded by artists basically, and a lot of it doesn't feel like a job, but it also is, and there is a professionalism to it, and there's long hours and those kinds of things. But actors, I mean, we sometimes get a kind of particular preferential treatment in a way sometimes on set. Yeah, well, you can get away with it. It's actually not that cool, but you can sort of, I don't know, treat it not as much like a job as it is sometimes. I don't know. I'm rambling now, but
no,
do you know what I mean?
No, but also the job is that the job can be so. I think that it's often like helped understand why bad behaviour sometimes happens. Is that the job? It's kind of a mystery what the job is. I think even to the people who do it, and so sometimes people have some pretty weird ways in, and that's just the way they need to do things, and that can really clash with other people's. But also sometimes, as you said, like so much of it is about being creative and trying to play and all of that kind of stuff, but also at the same time be super professional, particularly on film sets and TV sets where time is so valuable, and literally every minute on that set is costing the production company $5,000 a minute or something crazy sometimes. Yet at the same time you've got to keep creative and playful and sometimes be silly and funny and I always wonder, like, on big comedies how they keep that line of discipline and also playfulness, although from what I've heard, actually on comedies people are so disciplined because comedy kind of requires actually a sort of extra discipline over drama in some ways, because it can be super technical. It's a weird atmosphere, isn't it? Because it's both like everyone's trying to create freedom, but at the same time in a way that's really just efficient. I was just thinking about what you. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go on, Toby. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I was just wondering what you said about the cotton wool in the mouth feeling and that general anxiety. I feel like, at least when I've been in like interview situations or on stage like that, I think the anxiety comes from feeling that something is unacceptable. Like, you can't be totally yourself. You have to be a sort of managed version, and then you think, oh, what if something slipped out and I said the wrong thing, and suddenly the feeling of not quite being able to speak is manifests, physically. You feel like, oh, I should. And it's a similar kind of feeling on set, that you have to be really free to be able to work, but not. It's a mixture of, like, if you take it too seriously, then it's going to mess you up because you're going to take it too seriously and not be able to play. But if you don't take it seriously, then you're going to be unprofessional. You could be unprofessional. So it's sort of trying to find that line of kind of not giving a fuck about it, but also putting in all your effort and being playful. And it's that kind of the balancing act of, if you mess your lines up or if you make a mistake, you have to kind of be like,
that's so true.
It's not going to help to be like, oh my god, the show is so expensive and I made a mistake. That's only going to make it worse. So you have to kind of be like, well, what am I going to do?
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Even if it was a very expensive mistake,
No, you're right. You're right. I think that, on the point of comedy, actually, I was thinking about that the other day. I've been doing improv classes. And it's a really interesting discipline, actually, improv. Because there is a very specific structure I'm learning at a very specific school, really great school. A lot of very famous people came out of it. So I'm like trying really hard But then at the same time, our teacher's like, just play. Just play.
Yeah.
You're just gonna play, and of course, when you're flowing, But a lot of it really relies on, yes, you're just playing, but we're trying to find things like the game of the scene, and we're also trying, what is the game of the scene, and also establish things within 10 seconds. Who are you? Where are you? Who are you to each other? Establish that. What's the game of the scene, and then it relies on your scene partner, who might be crap, but also might be really good. And so, yeah, it's not hard. It's not easy to just play, So I have a lot of admiration for people who just play but keep very disciplined within the boundaries of play. It's a very, very specific thing that I want to be able to do. And then when I was watching people work, I was on this small horror film. It's like a little independent film. I'm a cult member. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny role. And it's a friend of mine that was directing it. He was like, do you want to be a cult member? And I was like, yeah, sure, fuck it. And I was watching the actors work. Love watching the actors work. I like watching the whole set like a tiny like organism. Yeah, everyone's moving. I love it. And I'm watching the director, and I'm watching like the art department, and everyone's like, yeah, do that, yeah, do that. And then the director's whispering in one of the actors' ears, don't know what he's saying, and they've just amended something real fast, very subtle. You can see it on camera. It's so interesting, it's again to play, but those actors are they were really, really great. It's really tense scenes, and then at some points ridiculous. We're eating brains, and doing ridiculous things. I love that. Like, yeah, being creative it's not just about like going, yeah, whatever. It's so much, when you're putting so much of yourself into. And all I was doing at San Diego Comic Con was hosting a panel, so I can't imagine what it's like. I mean, I've done stand-up before and things, and that's fine, but like, I can't imagine what it's like to do a whole play, to do like, or if somebody's asking me questions, I would be like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
I hate being asked the questions. I like to ask,
I think there's a similar thing with improv, with answering questions where you feel like you want to be the most interesting you've ever been because you only have so much time. And then you can end up sounding really weird because you're like shoehorning in some interesting thing about yourself in order to, because it's, I saw an amazing clown in London recently in a show, and he does, I don't even know how much of his show is scripted or like prepared. It's a one-man show. There's lots of audience participation, which is like, oh God, please don't see that I'm here, please. But he would do these things where he would be so comfortable with not being more interesting than it actually was until something did occur, which means that like he would bring someone out on the stage and then just look at them for ages.
Yes.
And you'd think like, no one's laughing. You have to be like, hey, and suddenly do something funny, which is the funny killer immediately. No one wants to see you do the thing that isn't happening. They want to see the thing that is happening. And so he would just leave it for so long. But then when the thing did, it would be like in the atmosphere, the thing that you pick up on. And then he would find this comedic thing. But it's like the courage to like not be more interesting than you actually are in order to just to be like, all right,
Yo, 100%. They say that all the time with the classes, and they're like, don't try and be funny. Don't go out there and try and be wacky. Like, go out there and just live in the scene. And then I said to my teacher, what if someone suggests a word like sock, right? Something like, we need a word, a suggestion, sock. Someone says sock. What if you just don't have like anything? Or I said, a lot of the times there's American suggestions like, Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know what Chuck E. Cheese is. I know what it is now. I know it's a place, right? I was like, or if somebody does a young person suggestion and I'm old, I don't know like the references. So he said, in that case, which I thought was very interesting, he was like, sometimes I just go in and I'll do a noise and just go, oh well, what's this about then? Or he's like, just go in and like be, or if it's like Chuck E. Cheese, what he said, walk on the stage and go, what is this place? Like go in and like just go, and again, not being funny.
It's the truth as well. Like the truth is
so true. Yeah.
The fact that you don't know what Chuck E. Cheese is the thing to begin with, rather than being like, oh, I've got to, yeah, there's always a starting place, and that
Yes.
is more interesting than the idea that it is over here but unavailable. There's like a I mean, every time that I do anything like this or talk about acting or theory, that I'm like, that I've got this whole thing sorted. Bollocks. Every time I act, I'm like searching for the funniest thing and trying to be the best. But when it's good, when it's working, is when you're really not doing those things. When you're just comfortable with the with what is, and it's always better. It's in stand up. If the stand up ignores the heckler, it immediately cuts the atmosphere, because people are seeing this truth of, why is he not acknowledging the heckler? This thing is happening for real, and he's pretending it's not happening, and that makes people like, I can't trust this. This just doesn't make sense anymore. But
you're
like,
totally right. Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the most freeing thing is to be like, any mistake that you make is just the next thing that's occurring. So it's only weird if you fluff up and then you just like go, like if someone toasts the couple and says the wrong name, and then it's just like, well, But if they go, sorry, I just fucked their names up, I think I must have had too much to drink. It's only because I'm excited and they're such a lovely couple. That's fine.
Oh, you're right.
But just to be like,
no, you're right. Yeah, my improv teacher calls it working from your highest intelligence at all points. Like, from you've got work with your highest intelligence, with your truth and all that kind of stuff. And what I've observed from all the acting classes I've done here, and then in London, and then all the improv stuff I've done here, the people that are the loudest, try to be the funniest, and overcompensate, are often the ones that are actually the most insecure, because they are trying to like talk over someone, or run roughshod over somebody's scene, when actually all of these things that we're talking about, it's about teamwork and about supporting your scene partner, whether you're acting or it's improv. It's about making them look really good and listening to them. Not you got to listen to someone to understand what they're saying. It's listening. It's not just going, you say a line, I say a line, you say, no, what did they just say? How did it affect you? Like genuinely. So I find that really interesting. It's definitely helped. I would say doing all of these things has absolutely helped my interviews and hosting.
Oh, I bet.
Stuff,
yeah, I really bet.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
100%. I like talking to actors about process. I actually talked to a bunch of great video game actors in Denver. It was Neil Newbon, as
amazing,
who's a friend of mine. And then it was Jennifer Hale, who's in Mass Effect, Roger Craig Smith, who's Sonic the Hedgehog, and so many other characters. And then Naji Jeter, who's he's Miles Morales. Okay. And we ended up talking about there was a great
He won the BAFTA, right?
He did. He's such a great kid. We ended up talking about process, like not just how to become a voice actor, which everybody always asks because it's just acting, right? It's not different.
Yeah.
But we ended up talking genuinely about character and process, and like hanging on words and intonation, and also like things in the industry people wouldn't talk about, like not being taken advantage of, and really what is networking really. And people came out of that panel and they were like, oh, that was actually really informative. I'm like, yeah, like, because you should come out of a panel feeling, I hope people feel inspired, so that they go, oh, maybe I want to give that a go. Or some people come out of it and go, oh no, that's too much for me. And that's also valid, but it's absolutely helped. I love talking about process and creativity. It's so interesting. But anyway, speaking about teamwork,
here we go.
We need to get into.
Look at this segue. I'm so professional.
You are. Well, you're the most professional, and because I know that you've also been playing Chained Together on your stream. There's quite a lot of pressure on you to be the guide. Particularly this session. I mean, not you, because you were a pretty significant guide last time, even if it was mainly pastoral, kind of supportive. I don't know, verbal support rather than necessarily like this is a good way to do this. But
Okay.
you're gonna have to step up this time. This is gonna be you're the explorer leading us. We're gonna. I don't know how you feel, Toby.
He's like an iron fist in a velvet glove. I was like, oh, you did really well, but you are going to have to step up, Claire.
Yeah.
Just telling you.
Yeah.
I will try.
I'm a sweaty fist in an iron glove. That came out sounding worse. I just mean that I'm going to sweat because the game is stressful. But sometimes you say things and then realize what they sound like.
A sweaty fist in an iron glove. I think is a great image. I mean, it's basically the image of all knights in there, and also modern reenactors of knights now. So there's gonna be lots of sweaty fists in iron gloves all around the castles of England for the next summer season of jousting. So not that
is there?
Well, I imagine so.
Are you hot on the jousting scene? Do you know what's going on in the...
I'm in the Google Calendar. They keep me updated.
Sweet.
I love it. Oh my god! I love how we went from process and acting and to like sweaty fists. I like how that descended into madness very quickly.
Cotton wool mouths and sweaty fists. Welcome to out whilst we in a slightly nicer window. That was exactly what I didn't want to happen.
This is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
This is the one thing. And apparently, like, Bintak, you, again, might be able to help out with this, but certain ways to do this is actually you've got to copy a text file, and then...
Oh, God.
No.
Okay.
That's the kind of level of PC that I can't handle.
Host a game.
No. Chaotic Libras in hell.
Yes, okay, here we are. Load manual... Okay, manual save. Altitude 449,551...
Should not.
Can I ask a question to the chat and to people and to everyone in general?
Of course.
Why in this year of 2024 are we still unable to get a newscaster to hear the news at the same time as we hear the news? Why are they still massively delayed between the studio?
Delay.
I just wonder, that's the quickest the satellite link can link up. Why? I can call... It's
about data bouncing, right? So here's my very unscientific way of describing it, but people in the chat tell me if I'm kind of right.
Okay.
So
I'm looking forward to this.
Depending how far it has to travel.
Yes.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Exactly.
It's comedy gold.
Depending on how far we have to travel. End of statement.
Wait, hold on. We no, we're okay. So we're going to travel across the Mars and bounce to the different places. And
Claire, have you done are you tactically lagging?
This is incredible. Yeah, is this one of your stream settings?
Timed your lag perfectly. Is this like an improvisational technique you've learned where just get that problem?
Upright Citizens Brigade is incredible.
Brilliant.
Yeah, my improv skills translate beyond space and time and the digital realm. Clearly. Clearly. I'm yes-anding across the binary landscape. Like, let's go.
Yeah. What's 0 and 1 for yes?
Yeah.
And...
I'm trying to see if people have got an answer. No one's got an answer here yet, but I reckon my answer is correct, which is it needs to travel across the wires and bounce to different places. So that's what I think. Are we going back in?
Have you got a game yet?
But I need to ask, how high do you want to go? Because we can go to the car race, which is kind of where we were, or we can go to all the way up to the Whispering Vault, which is where Yeppe and I got to. Claire, what do you reckon?
I'm up. Go ahead.
Oh no, Toby, what do you think?
I mean, you had me at Whispering Vault.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know whether that will. Nah, it's fine. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. With same password, which is obviously
secret.
Although I would quite like the lobby to be rushed. That would be quite fun to watch happen.
Can you imagine just random people? Let me see. Let's refresh. It's just the same name. Oh, there we go.
Same name, same pass. But
there
this time we're at the Whispering Vault, not at Ground Zero.
Great.
Okay. Yes. Very into that. Loving that for us.
Yeah, we're doing
Excellent. Okay.
Right,
Let's
beautiful
see if I
work.
can be an old man.
Old men, here we come.
Okay, I'm so up for being an old man. Drive down to Glendale. So, have you saved that?
Save and quit game. Save.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Are you sure you want to quit? Quit.
Yes. Yes. That was so good.
Well done, everyone. That was. I think that was some. That was some strong.
My
that was
God.
some strong teamwork. We unsynced so many times.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That was a nightmare.
We've not. You know what? I strongly advise you go on YouTube and watch the speed runs because they're incredible.
How
of
do
just
they
one
do
person.
How do they?
I don't
it's
think
a
I
single
can deal
person,
with
right,
being emasculated that much. No,
It's
I feel like that's the same with anything on the internet that you like think that you've done something, or not even the internet, just like in life when you're like, yeah, I'm getting good at this, and then
yeah. No, it's like you think you're good,
There's
and then you're
a
like,
12-year-old kid who can do a Rubik's cube in 0.65 seconds.
I know. No, you've got to have like a sort of different sort of brain. I mean, I watched about 10 minutes of it, and this guy had got to the city level super fast. He got right out of hell. He was running around. He was doing things that I would never consider to do. Like, for example, you said, "Hey, the tree works. The tree is things like that, like little shortcuts."
Yeah.
He was just
I mean, how do people find out when they're doing speed runs that they'll be like, you know, they'll start playing Elden Ring and they'll just like wander over somewhere and then they'll be like, okay, right, so just doing
I know.
crouch, and bing, and then it will like fire them through a level and like through the geometry, and then they'll like, how do they figure out how to do that? They just go around everywhere in the game crouching, checking whether if you do 10 crouches it pings you through the geometry, or are people looking at the code?
I think it's called having a lot of time in your hands. I do not have that time that I used to have when I was younger. I just don't have that time for games generally. But I think you just have to have the gamer brain, you know, in the Matrix where Neo sees the world as green and black and binary. He just that's how I think people that play those kind of games see it. They know instinctively how the games are developed, what they can stand on, what they can pick up, whatever. Whereas we're just looking at it linearly. So, you know, we're like we're not Neo. That's what I'm saying. So we're just lowly pod people. We're just batteries.
NPCs in someone else's game.
Yeah, we're just NPCs here.
I haven't played games in a long time, like consistently, and now like if I play God of War, and my brother who's I mean, this is a few years ago. He was playing games at the time, and he was watching me play, and he was like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, you've missed all of these things. You didn't pick that up. You need that item. You missed that quest." Like my instinct for how to just like play a game, and you're like, "How do you do it?" Right, so left trigger there. All right, got it. It's completely gone, and now I'm an old man.
I know.
I'm an old man in hell.
But look where we've got to.
I know.
I think we did well.
We're at the lower subway. We're at lower subway stations. The city awaits.
The cities. We're almost there, you guys. So I'm playing this on my stream next week, and then I'll play it with you guys. So at least I've got some insider knowledge.
You're like you're like a true guide. You're a true. It's like we're in the jungle, and you're just like, follow me.
You're Virgil.
I'm a Virgil. Jeez, oh my god. That was good. I need to hop off.
Do a clever.
Thank you so much for that. It was a really fun stream. Chat, you're all amazing. Thanks for being here. I had loads of fun.
Thanks for sticking with us despite all our cheesiness.
Our cheesiness and our dangling nonsense. Claire, I'm really glad you can make it. Toby, thank you very much for coming on again. It's been really fun. Well, let's try and get this next one in soon, so we can just keep that scent going.
Yes. And can I make a suggestion? Because we never raid anybody. But I would say, James, if you can raid someone from the Wii Squad, and she's lovely, she's a Canadian streamer. Her name's Kristen. I've met her. It's Kristen A. I've typed it into the Twitch chat. It's Kristen A. She's really lovely.
Okay,
she's playing retro games.
Is she playing right now?
She's playing right now. It's /raid.
Yeah.
Have you never done this before?
I've never raided. No, this is my first raid.
Oh.
Raid.
How I mean, obviously, I know what this is because I'm a professional gamer, but
of course.
But just to double check for your benefit, what are we doing?
We're raiding, which means we're taking everyone in this chat over to someone else who's live right now, so they get all the viewers.
Kristen A. It's not coming up as a match. Come on. Or
so you gotta go. Raid.
This is great content, everybody.
Kristen A.
/
like
raid.
That. You gotta.
And then.
Oh, yeah. So it's / raid, then space, then it's Kristen A. I'm gonna WhatsApp it to you.
Yeah, do it. So, and because we're not getting this wrong, because I've been waiting to raid my whole life.
And then we can raid other people that are on. There's so many people that we know that that stream.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you'll get like a minute countdown, so we can talk until everybody's over there. And just be mindful that when the raid has happened, James, you have to stop the stream, or else it'll keep streaming on this channel, but everyone will be in the other.
Okay, we've got 2 seconds, 1 second. You guys ready to raid? Thank you so much for this amazing stream, everybody. Toby will see you soon. Claire, see you soon.
I'm not involved in whatever this is.
No, don't worry. We're just.
No, you're good.
We're just the chat and the whole stream is basically going into somebody else's stream. We will disappear.
We are disappearing.
We will disappear.
I'm going to go back into non-existent NPC mode where...
You're in NPC mode. You're fine.
Let's raid.
You're fine.
Now, everyone, have a wonderful evening and see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.